my friends. Last time we were in the middle of conservation efforts, conservation of the biodiversity efforts by the government. What all efforts now are done by individuals, the government, and the world conservation. For world conservation, also what are the world bodies have done. This we have. There we have left. Now today we will try to learn about a red data book, which is very important for denotifying the species of the endangered species. That means which are threatened. What is the red data book? The red data book is published by IUCN, which you already know, International Union for Conservation of Natural Resources and Nature. This is in Berges, Switzerland. They have an India office also, which has started in 2007. That's in Delhi. This particular international organization publishes the Red Data book, which comprises the list of animals and plants which are threatened. That means if you leave it like that without any protective efforts, after some time you will not find them in nature. Probably you won't see them at all. Any species extinct and getting threatened like that, after some time it's disappearing, means last time itself we discussed it is not good for the nature, good for any kind of the balance of the universe, balance of the nature will get disturbed by such species disappearing from the nature. Well, if red data book is to be defined, it can be defined as a comprehensive inventory of global conservation status of biological species. A comprehensive inventory of global conservation status of biological species. That means it speaks of the various species which are threatened generally in the world. This they have categorized into 9 categories. All the species which are facing any threat, either naturally or by human intervention, such categories are divided into 9. They are, I'll quickly speak out. After that, I will give criteria. Out of that, only 3 are important. Any question is to be framed, that is the area where we need to concentrate. Remaining just only academic interest, you will just listen to them. One is extinct, EXTINCT. Extinct means no longer seen. They are not there. Once upon a time they were there. Today you can't see them. Like dinosaurs. Extinct is the first category. We will not worry about it, because no conservation effort can be done in that category. Second is extinct in wild. In its general nature, where exactly this animal species is found, in wild nature, in its general habit, in its home, it is not there. But where it can be, 1 or 2 such kind of animals which are going to be extinct, they are brought and now they are being protected in an artificial environment. Let us say if it is an animal, that is a zoo. Any zoological park, an animal which is going to disappear in nature, you will bring it here, you will protect it by creating artificial environment and then taking care of it by all means. Such species will be only 1 or 2. It will not be many. This category is extinct in wild. In its original home, original habitat, you are not seeing them, no longer see them, but you can find them in an artificial environment with the efforts of the mankind. That is extinct in wild. The third category, 3rd, 4th, 5th, you need to give little concentration. Third category is critically endangered species. CE, critically endangered. That means a threat is looming large, and no, fastly they are disappearing. Due to various reasons, they are disappearing real fast. This is critically endangered. The next category is endangered. They are also disappearing, but no, the critical aspect of criticalness, no, that's not there. The third is vulnerable. Vulnerable means it is prone to any kind of a disappearing effect. Anything can cause them no reduce in numbers. Now let us concentrate only on these three. Critically endangered have got criteria. How do you call it as critically endangered? The existing species, the number of mature individuals should not be more than 50. All over the world, if you find it, such species you will find 50 or less, not more than that. The second is, over the last 10 years, 90% of its population should have been disappeared. The third is, in the next incoming 10 years, from the existing, another 50% is likely to disappear. So, total number should be around less than 50. Second is 90% of its original population should have got destroyed in this 10 years, last 10 years. Next 10 years also, there is a threat that 50% of the existing species would likely to disappear. Then second category, endangered, same three criteria apply. Here, the number is around 250. Second criteria of the last 10 years, 50% of the population should have got affected. In the next 10 years, another 20%, now 70% could have disappeared. In the next 10 years, another 50% is going to disappear. The third category, it is slightly liberal, vulnerable. The number is around 10,000. And last 10 years, 20% should have got disappeared. And in the next 10 years, next 100 years, there is a threat for at least 10% of the number. That means this is liberal. You will find, comparatively, you will find good number of species in this vulnerable category. But sometimes what happens over the years with many changes happening in the nature due to man-made works or no natural occurrences, some of the animals know from endangered, they will come to vulnerable category because the number drastically reduces. Some of the vulnerable category, because of disappearance of majority of them, would go up in the category to endangered. So this list is revised once in every 5 years or 10 years, depend upon need. The fourth category, the fifth category. Now we talked about 5 categories. The sixth is threatened, near threatened. First, near threatened means large number of species you will find in the nature, but they have a threat problem over many years. This may take now many years, but it's not a cause of concern. But if you wake up early, at least you will be able to know protect those animals without no disappearing from the nature. This is near threatened. The next category is least concerned. So you need not worry about them. The next category is data deficient. Data deficient means no, you have animals or plants, but no, their details, how many are there in the nature, what kind of factors are affecting them, then no, how they get threatened, and no, these details you don't know. That's why you will have to concentrate only the 3 categories: the critically endangered, endangered, and vulnerable. There is the 3 categories. I will quickly read out some of the critically endangered species. This is only just for remembrance, and no, you will have to know. Yeah, when you are finding no some animal name, you should know. Yeah, I have no. This is dealt, and then no, I know the name of the animal. There are a flying squirrel, Namdafa flying squirrel. It's in Arunachal Pradesh. And Malabar civet, this is there in the Western Ghats. And Jenkins shrew, this is In southern Andamans, you will find white tooth shrew, that is also there. And then now, white-tailed shrew. These shrews, all three are in the Malabar Islands. That's the native place for all three these animals, which are critically endangered. There are two kinds of rat, Ellura rat and Kondana rat. These two are Eastern Ghats in Tamil Nadu, you will find them. And in Pune region of Singad Plateau also you will find Kondana rat. There is one animal called pygmy hog. The pygmy hog is in Assam. The gharial, fish-eating crocodile, Bengal, roof turtle. Other than, I'm speaking the animals other than your elephants and leopards and tigers. These three, because generally these three are known, I'm talking very less about these three, but no remaining things which are unknown, whose name we did not hear till now, such kind of names only I am reading. Well, there are 10 mammals, 15 birds. These are all academic importance. Majority, red panda is one thing, musk deer, and then macaque-tailed monkey, black buck, nilgai. These are all come under critically endangered and endangered species. That means what happens if you hunt these endangered species? Is there a law? Is there an act by which no, what are protected and then no any punishments are to be given to people? We will come to that. We noted about what is red data book. In the red data book, there are two kinds of pages. One is a pink page, other is a green page. Pink page is the critically endangered and endangered species are in the pink page. What is a green page? Green page is the species which are categorized under critically endangered earlier, but now they are taken out from the list. They are no more critically endangered. They can be reduced to the vulnerable category or no, whatever category, lesser than critically endangered. This is called green page. Pink page, green page. Pink page is critically endangered and endangered. Green page is formerly the species were in that category. Now they are no more there. Taken out from the list. This is green page. We have completed red data book. Then we move to Wildlife Protection Act 1972. This Wildlife Protection Act, government, the world has clearly listed out, they have brought an act. This is called Wildlife Protection Act 1972. In this, they have mentioned what are critically endangered, what happens to that, what happens to endangered, what is there. This act consists of 6 schedules. That means 6 chapters. The first and second schedule are for critically endangered and endangered animals and animals. I'm only talking about animals. The third and fourth are endangered, but they are not critically endangered. They are endangered, but still you need to give some kind of a protective measures. The fifth is called vermins. This is a term no, which you don't know, even I also don't know. Vermin, V-E-R-M-I-N. This vermin is nothing but any animal, be it critically endangered or endangered, causing harm to the human living. That means no, they are destroying our crops. When we are going out in the farming activities, they are eating. A tiger also comes on this category. So they are causing difficult times to the survival of the mankind. It can be a rat, it can be a mouse, it can be a herd of insects, it can be wild animal. So these are called vermins. These vermins are categorized under Chapter 5 or Section 5 of Wildlife Act. These vermins, is there any procedure? Yes. When such kind of a effect is caused by an animal, you need to write to the authorities. Authorities have to get permission from the ministry. Ministry have again now have to get sanction from highest authority. When government permits, then only you can hunt the animal, or no, you can cause death to the animal. For that also, you have this much procedure to follow. What you need to understand here is chapter 5 consists of vermins. Vermins are nothing but no, who make human life difficult, or no, threatening the is a threat to the human life in various forms. The sixth category is more important. Schedule 6 is dealing only with plants. All 5 schedules, animals. Sixth schedule, exclusively plants. Plants are not identified in the five schedules. Sixth is only meant for plants. In the plants, there are picture plants, some plants no, which you are not seeing, some extinct plants, and then no nearing extinction. Such kind of all plants are any kind of an extraction, any kind of no taking away the plant, causing destruction of the plant, all such things are not allowed. I told you this schedule 1 and section 2 of schedule 2, animals, critically endangered animals are listed. Here you cannot poach, you cannot hunt, or you cannot smuggle these animals. Any person is doing like that for those animals, they will be imprisoned. Heavy penalties are given to such kind of an acts. Remaining category 3rd and 4th, lesser penalties are given, still they are protected, but the amount of protection you give it to schedule 1 and part 2 of schedule 2, the animals listed under these 2 categories, they get at most protection. Well, this is Wildlife Protection Act. The next aspect is Convention on Biodiversity 1993. Convention on Biodiversity, that means this is a international meeting they have conducted in 1993 in Montreal, wherein now they arrived at some conclusions. One is 195 countries, UN nations have joined this conclave. All have agreed to protect the environment, conserve the environment, and then now rationally use the resources of the biodiversity. Randomly you cannot use, everybody cannot use, and sharing of the knowledge regarding the conservation or any kind of developments are happening. It is exchange of the genetic resources, sharing of the knowledge on the biodiversity. These are the agenda for that meeting, and 195 countries have agreed to abide by the law. This is a legally protected conclave wherein everybody has signed. In this, there are 2 additional proposals are added to the Convention on Biodiversity. These are called supplementary agreements. One is Cartagena Agreement, Cartagena, Cartagena Agreement. Cartagena Agreement states, now biotechnology has evolved now, many things, many developments are happening with the help of biotechnology in changing the original nature of any plant or animal. Biotechnology, sometimes it is deleterious, sometimes no, it's very highly productive. This any threat which is happening due to the experiments of biotechnology, these technological things which are causing damage to the conservation or no species, everybody has to share this knowledge, particularly with relation to biotechnology. Any advancements happening in biotechnology field with respect to any species have to be informed to the countries in advance. After taking their approval, only such kind of a biotechnologically developed species have to be imported or exported. This is Cartagena Agreement. The second is a Nagoya Agreement, Nagoya Protocol. Cartagena Protocol is nothing but agreement. Nagoya Protocol. Nagoya Protocol says it is the sharing of knowledge, sharing of the biotechnology, irrespective of biotechnological, general sharing of the germplasm, general sharing of the happenings on biological diversity. This agreeing by the nations to share this knowledge is Nagoya Protocol. Nagoya is a place where this now agreement is signed. In this, they have certain targets they have fixed. They are called Aichi targets, AICHI. Aichi targets are designed in Nagoya Protocol. Aichi targets, under that, they have 20 global targets, 5 strategic goals they have fixed. When you get when you get to see the word Nagoya, you should relate it to conservation efforts, and then now this is a protocol and some agreements are reached to conserve nature. You have to come to such a conclusion without now thinking that where is exactly where it fits in. This is only general information I am giving. They might ask some kind of a misleading questions. Cartagena, Nagoya, these are the two protocols which are added to the CBD, Convention of Biodiversity. Well, now we will switch over to some of the in situ conservation methods. So I told you last time, parks, wildlife sanctuaries, and biospheres, hotspots, hope spots, and then cold spots. Hot spots, cold spots is related to the marine species. In this, majority, now we covered, these are the various methods to conserve the means to conserve the biodiversity. Now, I quickly read out some of the projects now the central government or state governments have launched to protect various animals. First is Operation Clean Earth. This is a tricky word. I am not now touching about tigers and then no elephants. Tigers, you need to know there are many tiger reserves are there in India. About 4 areas identified: Eastern Ghats, Western Ghats, Himalayan region, and Dandakaranya region. That's the central of AP, central of India, is the reserves for. Basically, these are the 4 areas. No, you get to see many reserves tigers. Well, in tigers, you need to know, keep in mind one thing. There is a M stripes. This word is related to tiger reservation, conservation. M stripes. Stripe itself, no, when the word you listen stripes, you have to immediately know, think it is related to a tiger. M stripe is nothing but a technical, it is a software through which, with satellite support, this particular software, of which the name is M stripes, it gives the number, and then no various details are correct, entered, preserved, and then they are continued in this software called M stripes. So here important is M stripes. M stripes is a software related to tiger reservation. Well, if you come to elephant conservation, there are almost 40% of the elephants you will find in India. Here, there are many areas. If elephant's nature is, it prowls in an area of 300 to 500 kilometers. It go on walking. So from one habitat to another habitat, if it's going, there intermittently you will find no villages or no farms, but agriculture fields, but you will not find no any kind of a protection there. When it is walking from one habitat to other habitat, there can be, you can get a railway cross also there. So what government has done is that they have created almost 106 corridors connecting 2 habitats for the elephants to walk through. 106, only 6 are protected, remaining are not protected. That means An animal from one area to the other habitat area, if it's moving, a separate walk area is created for elephant track. You can call it like a railway track and call it an elephant track. Some kind of a protective measures were taken, but they are not fully protected. This one thing you will remember. What is a corridor? Elephant corridor is nothing but an area which is connecting two habitats. And there is another thing. There is a umbrella effect, umbrella alliance. It is 5 NGOs have vowed to create almost 100 elephant corridors by themselves. This is not a government initiative, but 5 NGOs, they promised themselves that they would create in the next 10 years another 100 corridors they are creating. That is called umbrella initiative. Well, I'm going to the lesser known facts like Operation Clean Art. Operation Clean Art, it doesn't sound anything to you. But you know, when I say, you will be really astonished. Operation Clean Art is nothing but saving mongooses. Why mongoose is to be saved? Because the fur of mongoose is used for the finest of the paint brushes. People have a habit of poaching and then now hunting and then now bringing out. They are selling their fur for the commercial purposes. To avoid that, they have created an exclusive project called Operation Clean Hunt. This is for mongoose, saving mongooses. So this is a world funded project. The other is Great Indian Bustard. This is a big bird you find in a desert ecosystem. This Great Indian Bustard is found in India and Pakistan. It has, even in AP also, in Rollapadu, one of the sanctuaries exclusively created for Black Indian Bustard. Last time, the Great Indian Bustard, a couple of years ago, there was a question. They have asked, no, it is found in India and Pakistan. If you don't know if it is only endemic to India, you are wrong. It's found in Pakistan also. Last time in the question, what they have asked in a tricky way is that Great Indian Bustard is endemic to India. Clearly, that's wrong. Out of the 4 reasons they have given, you are choosing one is correct, 1 or 2 is correct in that category. If you think it's only endemic to India, made a mistake. So keep it in your mind. It is in India and Pakistan. So Great Indian Bustard is one of the critically endangered bird. Then snow leopard. Snow leopard is to the high altitude areas, particularly Himalayan region and then now Shivalik areas, where the snow leopard, one temperature, second is in a high altitude. These are the two makes the habitat of snow leopard. And snow leopard here, it is no more. Why snow leopard is considered now? I have considered is that earlier it is endangered species. Now it is taken out. It is now categorized under vulnerable. The status has got now reduced. That means earlier they were having now less than 400. Now 4,000 to 8,500. Anywhere between this, you will find the snow leopard number. Since they have drastically improved in its number, they are no more considered under critically endangered or endangered. It is in vulnerable category. Very recently this is done. That's why now you need to keep it in your mind. If they say snow leopard is an endangered species, likewise if a line comes like that, no, it is now vulnerable. That you need to keep in your mind. Then there is one plant, Globa andersini. This is a plant name. Why this is important means for 140 years, this is thought no more, it's not there in the nature. Now they found out it is there. They found out. They have, now they started now preserving it. One thing about it is that it's a lithophyte. Litho, rock. It's a lithophyte. You don't find things on rock. Rock is formed into soil by lichens, and then now any plant can rise with that help. Here, it grows on the surface of a rock. This is lithophyte. That's why you keep this also in your mind. Globa andersini, once a fossil, consider a fossil, now is living It is a lithophyte. Pongamia pinnata is a plant name again. Pongamia pinnata was also recently in the news because it's a plant. It develops in tropical areas. Huge lush green leaves. No, you will find. Why it is in the recent news is that it is used for production of biodiesel. Keep it in your mind. Pongamia pinnata is used for biodiesel. Then red panda, purple frog is another thing. Purple frog, it is in Kerala. What happens is that, like any other frog, so unlike any other frog, the front legs of this purple frog are very strong, and the snout of the frog is really strong. Why this is required means no. This has got no. Earlier, frog is a amphibiotic. It can live on land. It can water also. Now this particular blue frog, which is in Kerala forest, it has got a burrowing nature. That means no, it drills the soil, it goes, enters inside the soil, it lives there. For drilling, you need powerful equipment. It cannot use any spade, it cannot use any other equipment. That's why no, its snout and four legs, they are really strong, fit to dig the land. This is one thing you need to understand. It has got a burrowing nature unlike general frogs. Red panda is one thing. Red panda is a foothills of Nepal. You will find, and China you will find. It's state animal of Sikkim. One question has come recently about red panda. In that, what they have mentioned is that red panda is a state animal of Tripura. They said, but it's not state animal of Tripura. It's a state animal of Sikkim. That is the red panda. It is critically endangered species. Red panda is there. Madam,
Yes,
another
sir.
2-3 minutes are done. Another 3-4
2 minutes.
minutes.
Yes, sir.
May I take?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Then one more interesting thing I am telling you. It's a Jatayu conservation project. Jatayu conservation project. Jatayu, it's related to a bird. Earlier, Jatayu you find in our Ramayana. You got to know the name Jatayu. On the name of Jatayu, they started a conservation project to save vultures. Vultures, once upon a time, the vultures were greatly seen in number in riverbanks. Why riverbanks? Generally, people have a habit, any animal dies, any carcass they leave on the banks of any river, so that no, it is subject to putrefaction or any such kind of vultures, no, they feed on the animals. So that way they were doing it. Particularly the issue, this thing, they are common in UP. Once upon a time in UP, lot number of vultures were there, but suddenly the vultures have dropped in a greater number. That means some time back it was in a vulnerable category. Now category is transferred to endangered because of the sudden loss of the number. What is the cause of the loss? Beef and then now cow, such kind of a cattle, when they were dying from the farms, they were throwing on the banks, vultures feed on them, and after feeding on the carcasses, vultures used to die. Because in the farms, cattle farms, people people were used to give diclofenac. This is one antispasmodic and no muscle. It reduces muscle inflammation, and human also use this diclofenac. This diclofenac was severely used on the cattle to reduce the muscle inflammation. When cattle die and vulture feed on such kind of a cattle, diclofenac is fed to the vulture. Because of that effect, vulture used to die. Government has come up with an alternative medicine. No more diclofenac used in cattle farms. That is why, to preserve vulture number in UP, Jatayu conservation project is started. Then Gir National Park, Gir Sanctuary, Lion Sanctuary is for lions. Then tiger reserves you have, I told you, Sivalik and all that. There are marine national parks. There are only 2 marine national parks in whole of India. One is in what is preserved in Marine National Park. Marine coral reefs is one thing. The coral reefs are the inside where very many aquatic species they reside in the coral reefs, and then now they get their food from the coral reefs. That is why coral reefs are very integrated part of the ocean ecosystem. Many coral reefs are preserved in a marine national park. This is in Gulf of Kutch. One marine national park is seen. In Maharashtra, Malwan Marine National Park is the second one which you find in Maharashtra. These two are the only marine national parks with relation to water. The bunny grasslands. This one more thing you have to remember. This is in Gujarat. It's a saline grasslands. Nowhere you will find saline grasslands. When you find now, without mentioning any name, if they ask a question, marine grasslands are seen here. Likewise, in 1, 2, 3, if you find Gujarat or if you find bunny grasslands, that is the answer for that. Gogabai Lake is another thing. It is in Katihar in Bihar, where community reserve is the only community reserve in whole of India where people protect, the community protects this reserve. That is in Katihar of Bihar. That is called Gogabai Lake. Gangetic dolphins and then pangolins. These are all again protected species. To a lesser extent, their conservation is also taken up by the various governments. But these are some of the areas which I mentioned where you haven't heard of these things. Unless some information is given to you, it will not really occur to your mind. About national parks, which national park is meant for preservation of which species, you will find when you go through the national parks, there are 90 national parks here. Out of the 14, 15 are important. When you go through them systematically, you will find very few are have a potential of getting into a question. Well, friends, with this we have concluded biodiversity and the conservation of biodiversity and its conservation. We have dealt in an extensive way. In our next lecture, we will switch over to climate change.
Thank
Madam.
you very much, sir. Yeah, they are getting ready for the exam today. Thank you very much, sir. Tomorrow's session will continue.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.